versus the Machines is a new animated Netflix movie that came out a couple of weeks ago that I didn't get a chance to review a couple weeks ago, but now I'm reviewing it now. This is an animated film that was also produced by Phil Lord and Chris Miller of Into the Spider-Verse fame, and obviously some other properties that they've done a really good job with. The voice talent in here, you got Maya Rudolph, you got Danny McBride. You've also got the main character who is voiced by Abby Jacobson Johnson. I feel like her last name starts with a J. But yeah, just correct me in the comment section and we'll move on from that. The story for this animated movie sets up as there's this dysfunctional ass family. The oldest daughter loves film. She's very passionate about movies. And she's on her way to college for the first time, but the family decides to take her to college. They decide to go on this cross-country trip as a family so that they can bond and take her to college. This new program, this new technology for smartphones that is created, and they just decide to take over the human race and enslave humans. And so the Mitchells find themselves in a fight for survival. They have to try to figure out a way to reverse the situation and save all of humanity, while along the way entertaining the hell out of its audience and teaching us a few important life lessons while we're going along. So yeah, that's Mitchells versus the Machines. I gotta say, I am really impressed with some of the work that Sony Animation has been putting together over the last few years. I mentioned Into the Spider-Verse earlier. Obviously, it's one of my favorite movies ever. It's definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. When it comes to the animation game, it feels like Sony has really found the formula. It feels like they've mastered what they need to master in terms of not only making the animation pop, making that look fluid and entertaining, but also giving us good stories, good characters, really good movies that we could sink our teeth into. And definitely I feel like that is the case for the Mitchells versus the Machines. This is not only the best animated movie I've seen this year, this is one of my favorite movies of the year, period. For starters, I do love the animation and the way it comes together in here. Not only is it vivid and bright and colorful and beautiful to look at, it's also really heavily edited in the way that makes the entire movie feel a lot more entertaining, because the way it's edited, there's a lot of interesting animations and a lot of interesting edits that pop up throughout the scenes. The main character in this movie's name is Kate, and she makes a lot of movies, the different things that pop up during scenes. It feels like stuff that she would put into her movies. Things that they're able to do with the 3D animation in this movie, it's inventive, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's eggs on a tit, it's all of those things. Excellent backgrounds, excellent details. To go along with the animation, the voice talent in this movie is really good. Like, everybody does a great job. Danny McBride, for whatever reason, at first he reminded me of Seth Rogen until I was like, no, wait, that's Danny McBride. The director is voicing the voice of Katie's little brother in this movie, and I'm not gonna lie, that was a little bit weird at first. It was really weird at first to hear that kid's voice sounding like a grown man or sounding like some coked out version of Kermit, but that's what he sounded like in this movie. You do get used to it after a while, but that's like the only voice casting thing where I was just kind of like, couldn't we have just cast somebody else? It probably would have worked just as well. The characters are so well fleshed and so well realized in this movie. Part of it is probably because I relate so much to the characters in this movie. Like, I understand not only the family dynamic and why they're dysfunctional, because I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of us have families that will remind us of the Mitchells in this movie. But like I said, the main character, Katie, she loves film. She's very passionate about movies. That's me. I'm very passionate about movies. Her little brother is obsessed with dinosaurs. Hey, guess what? I grew up obsessed with dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. Stuff happens and this family's dysfunctional and they're kind of fighting all the time, but a lot of it is really funny and entertaining, and you can relate to it, you can understand it, and you can empathize with it. That leads me also to the other best thing about this movie, which is the humor. The humor is incredibly sharp, it's clever, it's well written. Legitimately was laughing my ass off for a good portion of this movie. Did not expect that going in. At the end of the day, this movie does have some really important life lessons that kids and adults can take away from it. One is the over-reliance on technology and how sometimes we need to just take a break, either from social media or for whatever we're using our technology from, and appreciate some of the smaller things in life. But also having the appreciation and the love for your family and understanding that even though you're dysfunctional, even though you might have problems, that's still your blood, that's still your family, and they're gonna be there for you in tough times. And that's the important lesson you can take away from this. Be there for your family even in tough times and support their dreams even if you're afraid for them. This movie is damn near as flawless as it gets when it comes to animated films, especially released in the year 2021. The only real problems I have is that, yeah, there are some aspects of the story that feel a little predictable. You can definitely see where some of this is going, some of the issues and some of the things. Like, you could tell that the other shoe was gonna drop on certain things at a certain point. I do feel like the villain for the movie could have not only been funnier, but also just could have been a better character. Like, the villain for the movie was kind of the least impressive thing about this film. How we can use that technology to better effect for each other and not just use it to get away from each other. And that connectivity, I think that's the important thing to take away from this movie, not necessarily what the villain is doing. The Mitchells versus the Machines is one of the best animated movies I've seen all year. I love this movie, and this one absolutely deserves my highest rating of Superman Prime. Tell me, did you see Mitchells versus the Machines? What did you think about it? Give me your opinions on the movie in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel.